Everything that they told us was a benefit was a lie.
As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover-ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game.
The Great American Psyop, Cash for Clunkers, the End of Freedom. Thank you for tuning in to Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terri Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today is April 7th, 2026. And wait till y'all see the lie that Cash for Clunkers was and where it has led us to. Are government programs and offers ever for our benefit? Was Cash for Clunkers? Was this offer for our, quote, benefit? Cash for Clunkers was the launching pad to a prison planet. That was 17 years ago, and y'all's mind are going to be blown. The foundation that it laid and from where it launched us. Let's get into this nefarious psyop. So let's look at cars from the 70s and 80s. Did the cars of the 70s and 80s represent freedom? Yes, the cars of the 1970s and 1980s strongly represented freedom, serving as iconic symbols of individuality, rebellion, personal mobility, especially for the youth of that era. Despite facing challenges like fuel shortages, vehicles during that period, ranging from muscle cars to custom vans, were seen as a passport to freedom, self-expression. We loved our cars. We named our cars. They were like our best friends. They had personality. Did the cars of the 1980s represent freedom? Yes, cars of the 1980s strongly represented freedom, individuality, and personal expression, serving as a defining cultural symbol of the decade. It represented freedom and autonomy. A lot of conversations were had in those old cars. Autonomy is the capacity, right, or state of self-governance, independence, and freedom from external control. Derived from Greek for self-legislation, it involved acting on one's own values and making uncoerced decisions. It implies to individuals personal autonomy as well as organizations and regions. And this is what autonomy looked like back in the 1980s. No map, no GPS, no navigation systems, no cell phones, just open roads, you and your music and freedom. And this is what that freedom felt like.
Try
It was a great time to be alive. I had a 77 convertible TR7 in 1984. I had a 1985 brand spanking new Mustang. I had some great cars. I had a 77 Grand Prix with the 50s on the back with Krager rims. I had some cool cars back in the day. And 18 years old, I drove all the way from Louisiana all the way to Jacksonville, Florida, just because I didn't want to get off I-10, and turned around and came back. So it was just freedom. No phones, nobody with you, no maps, no GPS, no navigation. You just read street information. Well, did cash for clunkers destroy the car culture and our right to personal freedom? Cash for clunkers was offered as a benefit to all American citizens, but are government programs and offers ever for our benefit? Reagan said, "The scariest word you'll ever hear is, 'Hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.'" And in walked Cash for Clunkers. On June 24th, 2009, President Obama signs CAR's Cash for Clunkers program into law. So if you're 30 years old now, you were 13 years old when this happened. And we're going to go back to see what that brought into our world and what it took from us. And most people don't even recognize it. What was Cash for Clunkers? Cash for Clunkers, officially the car allowance rebate system, was a $3 billion U.S. federal program in the summer of 2009, June 24th through August 24th, that gave consumers 3,500 to 4,500 vouchers to trade in older, fuel-inefficient vehicles for new, more efficient ones. It aimed to boost the economy during the Great Recession, remove high-pollution vehicles, and increase vehicle safety. Doesn't that sound good? But do they lie? Is what they offer to us ever for our benefit? It sounds good on paper. When was Cash for Clunkers? The Cash for Clunkers program ran from July 1st, 2009 to August 24th, 2009. He signed it into law June 24th, and it went into effect July 1st to August 24th, 2009. So 17 years ago. How many vehicles were traded in under the Cash for Clunkers? A total of 677,081 vehicles were traded in and destroyed under the 2009 U.S. federal Cash for Clunkers program, officially known as Car Allowance Rebate System. 677,000 cars were destroyed. What were the ages? What year vehicles were traded in under Cash for Clunkers? Vehicles traded in under the 2009, now listen to this. Listen. Vehicles traded in under the 2009 Cash for Clunkers program were generally model years 1984 through 2009. The year of the program that they were calling clunkers. They were taking cars up to that year, not even 1-year-old cars. Vehicles traded in under 2009 Cash for Clunkers program were generally model year 1984 through 2009. Cash for Clunkers. What is a clunker? A clunker is an old, heavily used, often barely functional vehicle that is usually unreliable, inefficient, and in poor conditions. A clunker is an informal American term for an old, worn out, or dilapidated vehicle. They took up to brand new cars in this. Was Cash for Clunkers a government psyop? Yes or no? To sell a psyop to the public, vocabulary, yes or no, to sell a psyop to the public, is vocabulary important in persuasion? Yes, vocabulary is critical in persuasion, particularly in psychological operations, psyops, because specific word choices, emotional language, and strategic framing directly influence public perception and behavior. Emotional triggers. Compelling, carefully chosen vocabulary taps in psychological triggers such as empathy, fear, or pride that shape opinions and create a desired emotional response. So they called these cars clunkers, barely functioning, pieces of junk. They chose their words carefully to make you ashamed of your vehicle. This is how you know it was a psyop. These clunkers that they were taking off market. Under Cash for Clunkers, did the trade-ins have to be operational vehicles with insurance? Yes, under the 2009 federal Cash for Clunkers program, officially the car allowance rebate system, trade-in vehicles were required to be both in drivable condition and continuously insured. So these emotionally framed psyop vocabulary, these clunkers that were traded in, had to be operational and with insurance on them for at least 1 year. These were not clunkers. These were drivable vehicles on the road that they put a negative connotation and called it clunkers to evoke a negative emotional response to these vehicles, for the public to look at them and in their mind refer to them as clunkers, and to make the people that own them ashamed that they own them.
If you're looking to replace your old car with a new one, the government's Cash for Clunkers program may be the thing. It starts today and it's designed to boost new auto sales and get gas guzzlers off the road. But there's a lot that you may not know, and CBS Money Watch editor-at-large Jill Schlesinger is here to fill us in. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we have a clunker here, which people at home will say, it sure doesn't look like a car that's, about to give up.
But here's the deal. It does get less than 18 miles per gallon. That's kind of the definition for the clunker. Got to get less than 18 miles per gallon. So if you want to trade in one of your clunkers and get a new car, the government will give you some money. $3,500 if you improve the efficiency by 4 miles per gallon, and $4,500 if you improve it by 10 miles per gallon. So it seems like a good deal, right?
But they're not going to give you $4,500.
No,
they're going
are
to say
not.
This is a credit towards a new car.
Exactly. And so what you have to remember, there are what we've identified at Money Watch is 5 things you really got to look for, okay?
A lot of people don't know these things.
Exactly. And so here's number one. Number one, you really have to have a road-ready car. This can't be something that's falling apart that looks like it fell off a lot. So that's important.
So it can't look like a clunker. It can't look like a clunker, even though they worded it as a clunker.
It looks like it fell off a lot. So that's important. Insurance in your name for a year. The other thing is, it has to be less than 25 years old. I mean, that's a pretty big, wide berth for us to get through. When you buy a car, it has to be a new car, not a used car. If you choose a lease for that new car, it has to be a 5-year lease, and that's a pretty long lease for folks. And here's the other thing, has to be less than $45,000. So no fancy cars on the Cash for Clunker deal.
So the number one thing for the cars that qualified, they had to be drivable and continuously insured and registered to the consumer for 1 year. And they were 1984 to 2009 models being destroyed. So look at this. Yes or no? By the definition of what a clunker vehicle is, and those cars traded in under cash for clunkers that were not technically clunkers could be considered a psyop? Yes. By the standard definition of a clunker, broken down, barely functional, or non-running vehicle, the cars traded in under 2009 cash for clunkers were generally not clunkers. Yes or no? By the definition of what a clunker vehicle is and those traded in under cash for clunkers, could it have been a psyop? Whether the 2009 Cash for Clunkers program constitutes a psyop is a matter of interpretation and opinion, not a settled fact, and therefore cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. However, based on your criteria, there is documented evidence that supports the argument that the program was viewed as a deceptive or failed effort by many critics, economists, and participants. Arguments supporting that it was a psyop. Destruction of valid vehicles. Many, if not most, vehicles traded in were not clunkers in the sense of being broken down. They were required to be running, drivable, and insured, leading to the destruction over 677,000 functional, albeit less fuel-efficient vehicles. Scam narratives. Many consumers and industry observers at the time and retrospectively labeled the program a scam or sham, designed more for politically motivated industrial bailouts than environmental or economic benefits. Some said it was a scam, some said it was a sham, or was it a psyop for a very evil agenda? 2009 cars were even being taken. Were new 2009 model vehicles destroyed in cash for clunkers? Yes, functioning, relatively new, and even some high-performance 2009 model year vehicles were destroyed under the 2009 Cash for Clunkers program. Brand new cars were destroyed. What year was Obama's Cash for Clunkers? July 1st, 2009. Did GPS systems go much more mainstream after 2009? So after they destroyed vehicles up to 2009, then here comes GPS systems. Yes, GPS systems became dramatically more mainstream and ambiguous after 2009. Did self-driving cars get introduced somewhere around 2009? Yes, the modern era of self-driving cars was significantly accelerated when Google quietly launched its self-driving car project, now Waymo, in 2009. The same year that autonomous vehicles were destroyed, self-driving vehicles emerged and GPS went more mainstream after the destruction of the autonomous cars.
Well, President Obama also pointed to a plan that might entice you to trade in your gas guzzler. It's called Cash for Clunkers. KMBC9's Marcus Moore is live with what it means for you. Marcus?
Well, Larry, here's how that plan might work. Say you trade in your 1998 Chevy Blazer and get thousands of dollars from the government to go towards buying a newer, more fuel-efficient car.
Car shoppers are getting more time to trade in their old gas-guzzling clunkers for cash. President Barack Obama has signed into law a measure tripling the budget to $3 billion and extending the car rebate program to Labor Day, assuming the new money lasts that long. The law gives owners up to $4,500 for trading in old cars that use a lot of gas for newer, more efficient vehicles. The program has drawn big crowds to formerly deserted showrooms. On Tuesday, Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood hailed the program's success.
This is the one stimulus program that I believe has been the most popular.
In a statement, President Obama said the extension means more Americans will have the chance to purchase newer, more fuel-efficient cars, and he adds the economy will continue to get a much-needed boost.
Is there something nefarious? Did something very nefarious happen with Cash for Clunkers?
Not more than a few weeks ago, there were skeptics who weren't sure that this Cash for Clunkers program would work. But I'm happy to report that it has succeeded well beyond our expectations and all expectations, and we're already seeing a dramatic increase in showroom traffic at local car dealers.
So they were getting the old autonomous vehicles that didn't have GPS on it. They were getting all of those turned in and destroyed and putting the vehicles that had GPS into people's driveways.
In the summer of 2009, the government destroyed the used car market. In the program known as Cash for Clunkers, the government offered drivers up to $4,500 to trade in older vehicles for new, more fuel-efficient ones. It was sold as good for the economy and good for the environment.
We're already seeing a dramatic increase in showroom traffic at local car dealers.
What it actually did was carry out a government-mandated destruction of some of the most reliable, easy-to-repair vehicles Americans still had on the road. If a car qualified, the dealership couldn't resell it. The engine had to be intentionally destroyed, so mechanics were made to fill their engines with sodium silicate, liquid glass, and run them until they seized for good. Nearly 700,000 vehicles were wiped out, and a lot of them weren't junk. They were older cars and trucks that could last for decades, be fixed in a driveway, and kept running without software, screens, sensors, or $1,000 repair bills. Then they were replaced by newer vehicles that cost more, break more easily, and push ordinary people back to the dealer for repair bills. Cash for Clunkers was sold as progress, but to a lot of Americans, it looked more like the deliberate destruction of cheap, dependable transportation. The cars they killed were simple, durable, and paid off, which may be exactly why they had to go.
A strategy to destroy reliable vehicles are even more nefarious for the reasons why they destroyed these vehicles.
In the summer of 2009, the federal government launched Cash for Clunkers. Turn in your old car, get up to $4,500 toward a new fuel-efficient one, help the environment, boost the economy. Everyone wins. Real mechanics knew better. What Cash for Clunkers actually did was execute a calculated, government-mandated destruction of the most reliable analog vehicles ever built in America. Nearly 700,000 running cars and trucks were deliberately killed, not parted out, not donated, destroyed on purpose, by law, before they were crushed. And the used car market that working Americans had depended on for generations was never the same again. This is the forensic audit of how they did it, what they killed, what replaced it, and what you need to know before the next phase of this trap locks into place in 2026. Number 1, the liquid glass execution. To qualify for the rebate, dealerships were legally required to destroy the engine of every trade-in before it left the lot. They could not resell it. They could not part it out. They had to kill it. The method was sodium silicate solution, liquid glass. Mechanics drained the engine oil from each qualifying vehicle and replaced it with sodium silicate. Then they started the engine and let it run. The sodium silicate heated and crystallized inside the block. Metal surfaces that were supposed to glide began grinding. Within minutes, the pistons seized. The crankshaft stopped. The engine welded itself into a useless mass of metal that would never turn again. Footage from dealerships that summer shows mechanics standing over hoods, watching engines smoke and knock and die. Some of them looked like they were attending a funeral. In a sense, they were. Number 2, eradicating the forever engines. The trade-ins that rolled into dealerships that summer were not junk. They included some of the most indestructible engines American manufacturing ever produced. The Jeep 4.0-liter inline 6-cylinder, a cast iron block with a simple design, engineered so far beyond its tolerances that Cherokee owners routinely drove past 300,000 miles and kept going. Parts were everywhere. A teenager with basic mechanical knowledge could rebuild one on a weekend. The GM3800V6, installed in Buicks and Pontiacs through the 1990s and into the 2000s. Consumer Reports called it one of the most reliable engines ever produced. Owners talked about these engines the way old ranchers talked about a good working horse. They just did not quit. Both of them shared one thing the auto industry in 2009 desperately needed to eliminate. They were repairable by ordinary people. No proprietary software, no dealer visit required, parts at any auto parts store. You cannot sell a working class family a new $40,000 SUV on a 7-year loan if their 1998 Jeep Cherokee refuses to die. The forever engines had to go, so they went. Number 3, the computer on wheels trap. Once the analog cars were crushed, the replacement vehicles waiting at those same dealerships were built on a completely different philosophy. Starting around 2010, the industry began replacing mechanical controls with software interfaces. The tactile knobs and dials that let you adjust your climate control and radio without looking away from the road began disappearing. In their place came touchscreen displays running proprietary software. A 2002 Silverado with a broken blower motor is a $30 part and an afternoon. A 2019 Ram 1500 with a failed Uconnect screen is a dealer visit, a proprietary replacement unit, a software flash, and a bill that can reach $2,000. The repair cannot be sourced elsewhere. AutoZone cannot help you. Your neighbor with a lift in his garage cannot help you. This is not a coincidence. When a vehicle becomes a software platform, every repair becomes a revenue event. The backyard mechanic was engineered out of existence, and the people who paid the price were the working Americans who bought the cars. Number 4, the telematics spy grid. Since approximately 2012, nearly every new vehicle sold in the United States has shipped with a cellular modem installed at the factory. You may not have been told, you almost certainly were not asked. Systems under names like OnStar and other connected services are collecting data continuously. Hard braking, rapid acceleration, GPS coordinates, time of day, trip duration. Through data brokers including LexisNexis Risk Solutions, this behavioral data is packaged and sold to insurance companies. Your insurer may be using data about how you drove last Tuesday to raise your rate next month, without telling you where that data came from. A 2002 Toyota Camry does not have a cellular modem. It does not report your driving to a server farm. The person driving a 25-year-old truck is not generating a behavioral profile for an insurance algorithm. That is the difference between a tool you own and a device that monitors you. Number 5, the 2026 kill switch mandate. This is the part that sent the comment section into a full panic. The panic is justified. Buried inside a federal infrastructure bill is a mandate requiring what legislators called advanced impaired driving technology in all new passenger vehicles. The mechanism is a computer system using interior cameras and sensors that holds the authority to decide whether you are fit to drive. If the system decides you should not be driving, it can disable your vehicle, not alert you, disable the vehicle. The rollout timeline points toward vehicles produced around 2026 meeting this requirement. Once it is standard, every new car sold in America will have a federal kill switch managed by an algorithm you cannot audit and cannot override. What happens when the camera fogs up in a Minnesota winter and the system reads it as an impaired driver at 70 miles per hour? There is no appeals process. There is no human in the loop. You will not own a car. You will own a permission slip to travel, revocable at any moment by an algorithm. Number 6, the Ghost Fleet Rebellion. This is why, right now, there is a growing movement of Americans hunting down old trucks and old SUVs built before the touchscreen era, before the telematics grid, before the kill switch mandate, and paying premium prices for them. A 1999 Ford F-250 with a 7.3-liter diesel under the hood. No cellular modem, no proprietary software, no algorithm with authority over the ignition. Parts available everywhere. Repairable by anyone who has ever held a wrench. A machine that belongs entirely to the person who owns it. These are the ghost fleet, the survivors that did not roll into a dealership in the summer of 2009. The engines that escaped the sodium silicate. Paying a premium for a 25-year-old truck is not nostalgia. It is the most rational vehicle purchase an American can make in 2025 if they understand that every new car sold today comes with surveillance hardware, software systems designed to generate dealer revenue, and a federal mandate for an engine disable switch. The window to find one is closing fast.
We're going to talk about the kill switch in a minute. That's going to happen in 2026. But we've also got something happening right now with vehicles in the background, scheduled to start May 2026. Is this about to be Cash for Clunkers 2.0, the nefarious E15 gasoline? Trump just signed it. Trump approves E15. The Trump administration has approved a nationwide emergency fuel waiver. Oh, kind of like the emergency waiver for the vaccines. It's always an emergency for our own good. The Trump administration has approved a nationwide emergency fuel waiver to allow the sale of E15 ethanol gasoline, 15% ethanol, during the summer of 2026, starting on May 1st. Temporary waiver details. The EPA announced the temporary waiver to bypass annual summertime smog restrictions on higher ethanol blends. While the waiver lasts 20 days starting May 1st, the EPA indicated it will issue new consecutive waivers to extend this into the summer. Are government programs and offers ever for our benefit? So he signed it to go into effect May 1st. Is E15 a corn-based fuel? Yes, E15 is a corn-based fuel that contains 15% ethanol, typically derived from corn, and 85% gasoline. Corn source. The ethanol E15 is almost exclusively produced from field corn in the United States. Gas just changed and no one told you. Is this about to be Cash for Clunkers 2.0 deception?
Hey Grizzlies, hi, happy Tuesday, good morning, what's up, what's in your cup? I just have strong black coffee, because that's what we need for the news we're going over today. Okay, so let me lead by saying, I'm not saying that this is dangerous, and I'm also not saying that it's nothing. I'm saying that it depends, all right? So consider this a public service announcement, share it with your friends, post it to Facebook, okay? Because what's going to happen is a lot of people are just not even going to see this because of everything that's going on. All right, so let's get started. Point one, what we know. On March 25th, so just a few days ago, the federal government issued an emergency waiver, which basically allows gasoline to be increased to 15% ethanol, okay? So you're all like, what? Ethanol? What is that? But hold on, because anybody that drives a vehicle or uses gas for anything, whether that's to fill their lawnmower, ride a motorcycle, whatever, you need to hear this, all right? Okay, so, and I will keep it as non-technical as possible. Most vehicles post 2011, so that's any vehicle that's 2002, 2003, all the way up to 2026, okay? They're basically supposedly retrofitted so that they work with anything that goes up to E15 gas. So supposedly not a problem for anybody driving a vehicle that's 2001 and over. And again, I say supposedly because if you look, there are several manufacturers, all right, who have basically joined with certain groups that are saying, yeah, but we'd really prefer that the max is 10% ethanol.
Okay, so it's 2000. They're saying so any cars made after 2001, this 15% ethanol corn-based fuel should work in vehicles. But y'all remember 2001 to 2009 vehicles were in cash for clunkers. Those were the cars that they were wanting to destroy. So are engines about to get destroyed in this? I don't know. Let's go back.
Most vehicles post 2011, so that's any vehicle that's 2002, 2003, all the way up to 2026, okay? They're basically supposedly retrofitted so that they work with anything that goes up to E15 gas. So supposedly not a problem for anybody driving a vehicle that's 2001 and over. And again, I say supposedly because if you look, there are several manufacturers, all right, who have basically joined with certain groups that are saying, yeah, but we'd really prefer that the max is 10% ethanol. Obviously, you have a gas ethanol blend, all right? And most gas is 10% ethanol, 90% everything else, okay? So what the waiver is saying, hey, because we're having a fuel shortage because of the war that we started, now we're going to allow 15% ethanol in the gas as opposed to 10%. And stick around because I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures of what it looks like around the nation when you pull up to the pump so that you know what it is. So I just want to clarify that this is not speculation. This is happening. The waivers have been signed and you will start to see this rolled out. I believe they said it's not supposed to be starting until May 1 and for the summer season. But let me leave this right here. The EPA, which was substantially gutted by the Trump administration, okay, those are the people who are responsible for correctly labeling what is or is not being sold. So I guess what I'm saying is we have to trust that they're telling the truth in an environment where everybody, including the president, lies constantly and the Department of Justice is completely beholden to Trump and his team of hooligans, okay? So take that for what it's worth going forward, that the body that's supposed to regulate these things has been completely compromised. Not completely, but there was a huge gutting of the EPA, all right? And you can't have a huge gutting without having some things slip through the cracks. Read that any way that you like. So here's the part where I need you guys to like lock in, pay attention, put this in your mind, and then share it with people, all right? So we don't have people messing stuff up, okay? Like for example, let's say that you drive a 2008 Chevy Silverado, right? Okay, well, GM has said, hey, we would prefer that our vehicles that are pre-2011 don't use E15 gas unless they're flex fuel.
Hey guys, just jumping in here for a second because I realized that I forgot to say. Now, if you go to the top of AskRafaela.com, I linked to a document that the EPA basically reached out to all the auto manufacturers, the majority of them themselves, and asked them specifically like, hey, if people use E15, will it void their warranty? And that document has effectively what each of those auto manufacturers said. So worth reading to see what your particular, because I mean, guys, as you know, there's a difference between what people say publicly and then what they say if you bring in a vehicle that's got a bunch of busted seals, et cetera, and then they're like, well, hey, we didn't tell you to use E15. So anyways, go check that out and feel free to share that link around so people can, look up for themselves. Okay, back to the video.
Let me say that one more time. GM, so they make a few cars, they have said, hey, we would prefer that our vehicles that are pre-2011, not 2001, do not use gasoline that is above 10% ethanol unless it is flex fuel. Again, that's why I said it depends. You're going to have to look up for your specific vehicle. You're going to have to tell people that you know, that you share this with. Look it up for your specific vehicle. Don't take the 2001 rule and just go, oh, I drive a 2020 Chevy Tahoe, so I'm fine, because it depends. So for any older cars, this is a problem. For any small engines, motorcycles, boats, guys cannot run E15. And y'all, I'm going to tell you this right now, okay? Because I spent a few hours doing research before doing this video. I mean, comments including mansplaining, I guess they count for engagements, so knock yourself out. But look, the mansplaining crew, y'all can take the week off. I know that I'm going to have 100 comments talking about, well, I've been using E15 in my boat for 3 years and I've had no problems, blah, blah. Okay, I'm only telling you what the manufacturers say about using E15 in those kinds of engines is that over time it will damage seals, etc. So that's the advice of the people who make the engines, okay? Not anecdotal tales by Billy Bob, who runs a boat down on the bayou. So you take whoever's advice you want. I'm just presenting the facts. Okay, back to the point at hand. So what's going to happen when you pull up to the gas pump, right? Most people are used to just grabbing that the one that says 87. You just pull it and put it in. You don't even think about it because it's the least expensive one. But the issue is that the E88, which is what is ethanol 15. Okay, so let me back up for 1 second. So 87, anything labeled 87 unleaded, that's E10. Okay, anything that says 88, that's E15. All right. So after you've looked up your vehicle and you know whether your vehicle is safe for that or not, you can choose either one you want, okay? But let's say that you drive an older vehicle, all right? And you know full well, nope, can't use E10. What you have to do is you have to bump up, right, to the mid or premium blends that have a max, right, of 10% ethanol. So that's your only solution. There is an option for E10. And I should say that a lot of pumps will offer all four. There might be 5. I mean, getting gasoline is like you need a damn doctoral degree at this point. But the point is, because it's just something we do. We walk up, we just grab the pump, we don't even look. And because of this change, I want to make sure that people are aware of what is happening. So when you use ethanol 15, if you choose to use that, if you can use that, what's going to happen is the price per gallon is going to go down a little bit. But of course, your efficiency is going to change. Now, there is a whole range of people that say, oh, it changes it by this much or it changes it by that much, okay? So it depends on the vehicle. It depends on how you drive. It depends on the weather in which you're driving. So we'll just say for fun, okay, that it's a 10% reduction in your miles per gallon. Now that, of course, will be conditional on where you live, what you drive, how you drive, all those things. The point is, yes, E88, E15, 15% ethanol gas will be less expensive. And that's the whole point, right? Is, well, since we started this stupid war and now, we don't want to have to use all of our gas. So let's try to stretch the gas. So what we'll do is we'll just like quietly release this emergency waiver for the EPA and tell them like, yeah, it's cool. You can put up to 15% ethanol in. And then that way, because Americans are dumb and they're not paying attention. I'm not saying they're dumb. I'm saying that that's what, the administration thinks. They're not paying attention. So, we'll just, the gas prices will stay the same because we're bumping up ethanol. But the thing is, not everybody's engine can handle that. All right. So that should be all over every single news channel. There should be like flashing lights at the pump, but they're not. All right. So here are some things that you might see if you pull up. I'm just putting a couple different ones on the screen. If you guys, where you live, let me know what it looks like for you in the comments if you've seen this. Also, let me know if you've seen this. And also, if you've looked, okay, put your vehicle and whether or not it's safe in the comment section so we can get like a big long running list. Okay, all of that to say, there is this app. There are several apps, guys, but this one, I think it's called gasbuddy.com. I'll put it right here on the screen. Okay, you go there, you can look up where you live and it will tell you which gas stations are offering which kind of gasoline. That's the short and dirty. It wasn't short. And it's dirty. It's gasoline. It's dirty. So you guys let me know what's going on where you are. So go look, figure out, and then don't forget that there are a lot of vehicles that are flex fuel. Okay. And if you have a yellow gas cap, your vehicle's flex fuel. So you can use anything that's all the way up to 85% ethanol. Super cheap gas, but you're not going to get a lot of mileage per gallon. Anyways, I wanted to put this out there as a public service announcement because, obviously this Trump regime is flooding the zone. We're all overwhelmed with information. And I don't want something like this to fall between the cracks. So please share this with a friend. Don't forget, guys, stay informed out there.
Are government programs and offers ever for our benefit? Cheaper E15 gas not recommended for all types of engines. We see what the government thinks about car engines. Is this E15 law about to be Cash for Clunkers 2.0? EPA's temporary switch to E15 gas raises concerns about engine damage. New study shows dangers of E15 for engines. Can E15 gas damage engines? Yes, E15 ethanol gasoline can damage older engines, small engines, and marine engines, causing issues like corroded metal, degraded rubber hoses, and fuel pump failure. While safe for most 2001 and newer cars, but like I said, Cash for Clunkers 1.0 destroyed 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 vehicles. Okay? So who knows? Damaged engines, not for use in boats, motorcycles, chainsaws, lawnmowers, or older vehicles, as it can cause damage and ruin fuel systems. Signs of trouble. E15 can cause hard starting, engine failure, broken parts, and damaged catalytic converters. Pritzker pushes Congress for a year-round. So now they're wanting to move away from a temporary summer program. And on April 5th, Congress started talking about making this year-round for E15 gasoline. Yes or no? Will E15 gas cause corn prices to increase? Yes. Increased year-round use of E15 gasoline is expected to boost the demand for corn, leading to upward pressure on corn prices. Farm economics. This shift is supported by corn growers to raise the market price of corn. The expansion of E15 gasoline blended with 15% ethanol and higher ethanol blends generally increases the demand for corn, which can drive up the cost of corn. Will E15 gas drive up corn oil prices? Yes, widespread adoption of E15 gasoline is expected to drive up corn prices by increasing demand for corn-based ethanol. So it could potentially damage your car, and it's going to raise the cost of corn oil, etc. Anything containing corn is about to go up. Answer honestly, yes or no. Will E15 gas drive up cornmeal and corn tortillas? Whether E15 gas drives up the price of cornmeal and corn tortillas is a subject of intense debate. Arguments for yes, increased demand for ethanol requires more corn, potentially tightening supply and raising prices for food, feed, and consumer products like cornmeal and tortillas. Corn feed for animals. Yes or no? Will E15 gas drive up cost of cornmeal? Yes, extensive expansion of E15 gas is expected to increase demand for corn, which analysts predict will lead to higher corn market prices and subsequently higher cost of corn-based food products like cornmeal. Is corn syrup derived from corn? Yes, corn syrup is made from corn. Will the cost of food containing corn syrup increase over the E15 gas? The expansion of E15 gasoline is projected to increase demand for corn, which can place upward pressure on the price of corn and consequently products containing high fructose corn syrup. Will the cost of sodas that contain corn syrup over E15 price go up? Yes, increased demand for corn to produce ethanol for E15 gas typically drives up the cost of corn, which is the primary feedstock for high fructose corn syrup used in sodas. Does a lot of the U.S. food contain corn syrup? Yes, a significant amount of processed food in the United States contains high fructose corn syrup. Common products, beverages, snacks, condiments, sauces, and dairy and bakery. That's going to make the cost of sodas, juice drinks, granola bars, cookies, crackers, ketchup, syrup, salad dressings, flavored yogurt, ice cream, packaged bread, pastries, etc. It's all going to go up. Mixed vegetables. Will E15 gas drive up cost of corn tortillas? Yes, according to many economic analysts, expanding E15 gasoline consumption can lead to higher corn prices, which can consequently increase the cost of food products like corn tortillas. Yes or no? Could production of E15 gasoline mean reduced corn food products and byproducts? Increased production of E15 ethanol gas requires more corn, which can reduce the amount of available for food and feed, potentially causing higher prices for food and byproducts. And remember, Trump signed a temporary waiver for it. Then Congress was pushing for year-round E15. Well, on April 3rd, 2026, Trump administration approves the year-round use of E15 waiver. So that means everything with corn in it is going up. The year-round sale of E15 fuel. The Trump administration has approved a request made by Governor Roden and 6 other state governors for a nationwide waiver under the Clean Air Act to allow the year-round sale of E15 fuel. Yes or no? Could production of E15 gas yearly mean increased prices on corn-based products? Yes. Increased year-round production of E15 typically boosts demand for corn, which can lead to higher corn market prices. When corn prices rise, it can cause increased costs for products that rely on corn, including livestock feed, food products, and beverages. Everything's about to skyrocket. What will that mean for my gas tank? So I have a 2009 Honda Accord. That would have been included in the cash for clunkers. Does a 2009 Honda Accord have an 18-gallon fuel tank? Yes, the 2009 Honda Accord is equipped with an 18.5-gallon tank. The large capacity applies for both the 4-cylinder and the 6V6, providing a significant driving range for the vehicle. I put in an 18-gallon fuel tank using E15 gas. Will 3 gallons of E15 be in the tank? Of my 18 gallons, will 3 gallons be E15? Yes, if you have an 18-gallon tank filled with E15 gasoline, any 3-gallon portion drawn from that tank will also be E15. So, out of my 18 gallons, after 5th gallons of gas, the 6th gallon is going to be straight E15 corn. So in my 18 gallons of gasoline, 3 gallons will be corn-based fuel in my car, in whoever car uses it, that can tear up seals and engines. Cash for Clunkers 2.0. Is E15 less efficient? Yes, E15 is slightly less efficient in terms of fuel economy, miles per gallon, compared to standard 10% ethanol, generally reducing mileage by roughly 1 to 2%. That lady said up to 10%. Okay? Compatibility, approved for 2001 newer gasoline vehicles, but can damage older engines. While you might fill up slightly more often, the increased ethanol concentration creates less greenhouse gas. Will you have to fill up your tank sooner burning E15 gas? Yes, you will likely have to fill up your tank sooner when using E15 gas, though the difference may be minor. I'll put, could you lose 3 miles per gallon burning E15 gas? Yes, it is possible to lose roughly 3 miles per gallon or more using E15, particularly in real-world driving conditions. Numeric example. Very poor scenario could potentially reach 3 miles per gallon lost, though that is on the high end. Could E15 lower gas by 10 cents per gallon? Yes, E15 can lower gas prices by 10 cents or more per gallon. Okay, so how many miles per gallon does a 2009 Honda Accord get? The 2009 Honda Accord gets 20 to 25 miles per gallon combined, with 17 to 19 in the city and 25 to 29 on the highway. So how many miles per gallon? It's going to be around 22 miles to gallon. So I have an 18.5 gallon tank that right now is costing $3.89 per gallon. The total to fill up my car right now is $71.95, and I get about 407 miles per tank. So if I lose 3 miles per gallon burning E15, then I'm getting 19 miles per gallon. So then that means I'm going to get 351.5 miles on a tank now. So I will lose 56 miles per tank. So if I save 10 cents a gallon on an 18.5 gallon tank, then I save $1.85 per fill up, putting in this E15 gas that could destroy my car. I'll save $1.85 per tank, but I'm going to lose 56 miles of travel distance in that tank. So I lose 2.5 gallons. I'm going to waste 2.5 gallons that I would have normally got when I filled up to save that $1.85, because I'm getting 22 miles per gallon and I'm losing 56 miles. So I'm losing 2.5 gallons. So now I'll have to buy 2 more gallons at the 10-cent discount that will now be at $3.79. 2 gallons more that I lost at $3.79. So it's going to cost me $7.58 more. And this is supposed to save. So now this E15 that is supposed to save you money is going to cost you more money, because you're losing traveling distance and you have to fill up more. So now your food prices on nearly everything is going to go up. Food, snacks, drinks, vegetables, corn syrup. So now food prices are on everything are going to go up. Your grocery bill's going up because of the E15. It's costing more at the pump for lower quality fuel, and it's unknown what it will do to my engine in the long term. Is that winning, or is this a psyop?
When the truth comes out, when the truth comes out, you can run, but you know it's ending. At the bottom of the grave, you're digging now.
The EPA approved the sale of cheaper fuel, but can your car run on it? Could E15 damage the other older cars that Cash for Clunkers didn't reach, and go on and finish what Cash for Clunkers started? The great American psyop, Cash for Clunkers, the end of freedom. Was Cash for Clunkers the launching pad for the global agenda? Yes or no? Did Cash for Clunkers indirectly benefit Agenda 2030 by allowing automakers to introduce new surveillance technology into newer vehicles? Whether the 2009 Cash for Clunkers program indirectly benefited Agenda 2030, a UN framework for sustainable development, is not consensus yet. Arguments for yes that it was. Sustainability goals. The program goals aligned with environmental sustainability, which is a major component of Agenda 2030. The program accelerated the turnover of vehicle fleet, replacing older cars with newer vehicles. Modern vehicles produced after the 2009 program are equipped with more technology, such as telematics, GPS, and advanced driver assistance systems and connectivity, than the vehicles they replaced. This technological shift facilitates data collection and increased monitoring capabilities, which are often discussed in the context of smart city, traffic management, safety, and environmental tracking. And the smart cars and the new cars and the Internet of Things. Is this nefarious? Yes or no? Can smart cars connect to the IoT? Yes, smart cars are a major component of the Internet of Things, designed specifically to connect to the Internet to send, receive, and analyze data. Did technology for IoT connected vehicles increase after 2010? Yes, technology for IoT connected vehicles experienced a massive increase after 2010. Right after the 2009 Cash for Clunkers, technology for IoT connected vehicles expanded, massive increase. And guess what? You could buy the 2010 vehicles in 2009 that put IoT connected technology in the vehicles. You could buy that vehicle during Cash for Clunkers. Cash for Clunkers went into effect in July 2009. The 2010 models were for sale in July 2009. In July 2009 were the 2010 models for sale. Yes, 2010 model year vehicles were for sale in July 2009. So when they were destroying the cars that did not have the technology, the same time they were offering the cars that did. Were vehicles from 2010 and beyond equipped to connect to the IoT? Yes, vehicles manufactured from 2010 and beyond were increasingly equipped to connect to the Internet of Things. While connected cars existed earlier, the period around 2010 to 2014 marked a transition towards mass market adoption of IoT technologies. Cars equipped with GPS tracking after 2009 can be and often are used to connect to the Internet of Things. Following 2009, GPS tracking systems evolved from simple location data loggers to integrated telematics systems connecting vehicles to cellular networks, cloud services, and other devices. If all things are connected to the IoT, could there be mass surveillance? Yes, a fully interconnected Internet of Things enables mass surveillance by creating a vast network of audio, video, data gathering sensors in both public and private spaces. This, combined with AI, allows governments and corporations to track, record, and analyze behavior on an unprecedented scale, significantly eroding privacy. Cash for Clunkers was not a benefit. It was to take autonomous vehicles away and push people into trackable vehicles that could connect to the IoT and provide mass surveillance by the government. The gullible people thought the government was helping them get new cars. The government laid a trap to collect data, information, and surveil them in their new car. Nefarious RFID chip implants? Yes or no? Could a new smart vehicle, an autonomous vehicle, could it incorporate RFID chip implants from the driver? Yes. A new smart or autonomous vehicle can be configured to incorporate RFID chip implants from the driver. RFID chips with Tesla key systems, allowing them to unlock their vehicles with the wave of a hand. Is this all a nefarious psyop? Starting at the cash for clunkers. Could it be a psyop to promote an agenda if a government unleashing a policy with a different stated motive carried out on the unsuspecting? So they said it was to get rid of non-fuel efficient vehicles. Would it be a psyop if their reasoning was something other than was stated? Based on definitions from military and political science, a government policy implemented with a stated motive that differs from its actual hidden agenda to influence the attitude, emotions, and behaviors of an unsuspected population can be described as a form of a psyop. What was Obama's stated goal of the cash for clunkers? It was to stimulate the economy while increasing vehicle fuel efficiency and reducing greenhouse emissions. Would governments run psyops on their people for a political goal? Yes, governments have historically and do currently run psyops or similar influence campaigns on their own citizens to achieve political or policy goals. Did cash for clunkers help the nefarious agenda for 2030? Yes or no, could cash for clunkers been beneficial for Agenda 2030? Whether cash for clunkers program was beneficial to sustainability goals outlined in Agenda 2030 and reduce pollution is a subject of debate with compelling arguments for both sides. Could cash for clunkers have been a psyop to further Agenda 2030? Whether the 2030 was a psyop is a matter of perspective and speculation. Official goal, conspiracy agenda theory. Some proponents of the idea is that part of a larger agenda view the program as a deliberate move to reduce personal car ownership, force people into newer vehicles with tracking technology, or force compliance with environmental restrictions. Yes or no, if cash for clunkers was really to advance Agenda 2030, could it have been a psyop on Americans? Based on available evidence, the premise that cash for clunkers was designed to advance Agenda 2030 or acted as a psychological operation, a psyop, is considered a conspiracy theory. The 2009 program was a legislative economic stimulus aimed at boosting auto sales and increasing vehicle fuel efficiency. Or was it something very nefarious? So they got rid of all the cars that didn't have computers in it, that got rid of all the cars that could not connect to the IoT. And here we are in 2026 with the kill switches.
Number 5, the 2026 kill switch mandate. This is the part that sent the comment section into a full panic. The panic is justified. Buried inside a federal infrastructure bill is a mandate requiring what legislators called advanced impaired driving technology in all new passenger vehicles. The mechanism is a computer system using interior cameras and sensors that holds the authority to decide whether you are fit to drive.
Minnesota is now following California. And if you think this is just another harmless piece of paperwork coming out of the state legislature, you need to think again, because Minnesota's HF 3865 is being sold as a simple clarification of collector car rules, but the reality is far more consequential.
That was a ban on classic cars, but this is the one I wanted to show you. Government kill switch in your next car.
Government kill switch update. The federal government is moving closer to giving your car the authority to decide whether you're allowed to drive without a warrant, without due process, and with no guaranteed way to reverse the decision once it's made. We have discussed this kill switch issue in the past, And this update is going to make you mad, and we're going to have to speak up about it.
Call me a conspiracy theorist if you like, but this seems pretty suspicious.
Right now in law that's going to be implemented it says for 2026, that states that every vehicle manufactured is going to have a kill switch in it. The car itself will monitor your driving. And if the car thinks that you're not doing a good job driving, it will disable itself.
So this was voted into federal law in the US as part of a larger bill, and this year the vehicle technology will be rolled out, and it will mean that your car can be disabled under certain conditions. Of course, they're framing it as for your safety, but once the infrastructure of being able to disable your car remotely exists, the definition of for your safety can of course change. Today it's dangerous driving, tomorrow it's you're over your carbon limit or you're traveling illegally outside of your smart city. So in my opinion, this is clearly part of the agenda. The powers that be continue their totalitarian tiptoe towards total control of everything, including when you can and cannot drive your car. Fortunately, there is a...
Theoretically, if a driver posts anti-government posts, could their car be disabled? Yes, theoretically, a government-mandated vehicle kill switch system could be used to prevent individuals from driving, although current U.S. laws, such as the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021, strictly limits this technology to detecting impairment rather than monitoring political speech. While this is a theoretical scenario of government overreach, the technological capability and regulatory frameworks exist to create such a scenario if legal protections were to be removed. Could kill switch in a vehicle be used to immobilize a suspected criminal? Yes, a vehicle kill switch, so all they got to do is call you a criminal. You said something wrong, you did something wrong, you thought something wrong, you went somewhere wrong. All they have to do is label you a criminal. Yes, a vehicle kill switch, a hidden manually operated switch or remote device that cuts power to the ignition, fuel pump, or electrical system can immobilize a vehicle, preventing a suspected criminal, you don't even have your day in court yet, and they just lock your car down, preventing a suspected criminal from stealing or operating it. From vehicle kill switches to microchips, the spy state continues. The landscape of personal privacy and government surveillance is undergoing a significant shift as we enter into 2026, with technologies once considered speculative becoming standardized, prompting accusations of an expanding spy state. Key developments include mandatory kill switch technology in vehicles, the rapid proliferation of artificial intelligence in surveillance, and the rise of subdermal microchipping in the workplace. Go down to surveillance concerns. This technology requires continuous monitoring of drivers and passengers, which critics argue constitutes warrantless surveillance and violates Fourth Amendment protections. We don't have rights anymore.
They'll be able to control your car without you even knowing. Watch this.
Right now in law that's going to be implemented it says for 2026, that states that every vehicle manufactured is going to have a kill switch in it. The car itself will monitor your driving. And if the car thinks that you're not doing a good job driving, it will disable itself.
And this was just voted into federal law, a part of a larger bill. And now this vehicle technology that will be implemented that can disable your car under some conditions. And they're disguising it as for your safety. But what's to stop them from being able to control it anyways?
What if you get labeled an enemy of the state? You try to drive away and they will kill your car right there. You're not going anywhere.
Don't forget now they can legally turn your cars off, 2014 models, and if you have OnStar or a Tesla, they can just pretty much go, you ain't driving nowhere. Use something pre-2014. I don't like nobody telling me that I can't go and do when I want to, especially the government. But now they have passed that bill, and all the Democrats and 57 of the House Republicans were like, yeah, that's fine, just turn it off whenever you want to. Think they're starting to get their fingers in too many pies. I think we're going to have to start finding some tea in a harbor soon.
Cash for Clunkers brought in the autonomous vehicles with this technology. Autonomous vehicles are self-driving vehicles that use sensors, cameras, and AI software to navigate without human intervention. Yes or no? Could cars built after 2013 incorporate RFID chip implant technologies from the driver? Yes, vehicles built after 2013 can incorporate RFID chip implant technology from the driver, though it is typically achieved through aftermarket modifications rather than factory standard features. How it works: drivers can have small RFID chips similar to a grain of rice implanted in their hand. A reader, often hidden behind the car's dash panel, can be installed to recognize the chip's unique ID to unlock the door or authorize the engine to start. Yes or no? Could new smart vehicle in autonomous vehicle, could it incorporate RFID chip implants from the driver? A new smart or autonomous vehicle can be configured to incorporate RFID chip implants from the driver. Independent enthusiasts and engineers have already successfully paired implanted RFID chips with their Tesla key systems, allowing them to unlock and start their vehicles with the wave of their hand. Driver authentication. RFID chip implants can act as a secure biometric key, allowing a car to instantly recognize an authorized user, unlock doors, and initiate the driving systems. These implants can be used to set user preferences within the vehicle, such as seat position, mirror settings, and infotainment profiles upon entry. Go down to essentially. Essentially, modern smart cars and autonomous vehicles use passive active RFID chip technology for keyless entry, which can be adapted to interact with subcutaneous RFID chip implants. Yes or no? Could technology equipped in new vehicles allow for vehicle to be started with an RFID chip? Yes, technology in new vehicles, particularly those with near field communication or RFID based keyless entry systems, can be configured to start with a subdermal RFID chip implant. Yes or no? Could a 2009 Honda Accord use an RFID chip implant to start it? No, a stock 2009 Honda Accord cannot be used to start a car with an RFID chip implant. The year that my car would have been involved in Cash for Clunkers cannot be used with an RFID chip. And we wonder why they want to get rid of these cars. Yes or no? Could cars built after 2013 incorporate RFID chips? Yes. And it can be used to start vehicles. And are these RFID chip vehicles, are autonomous vehicles part of Agenda 2030? Yes, autonomous vehicles are considered a key technological component in reaching the UN's Agenda 2030. Answer yes or no. Isn't it true that if all items are connected to the Internet of Things and have live world surveillance, that it could benefit Agenda 2030? Yes, it is widely argued that connecting all items to the Internet of Things and implementing live world surveillance would technically benefit Agenda 2030 by significantly accelerating progress towards the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Theoretically, Cash for Clunkers, did it help pave the way for technology in the autonomous vehicles? Yes, theoretically, the 2009 Cash for Clunkers program helped pave the way for modern automotive technology, including electric and autonomous systems, by forcing the retirement of older fuel inefficient vehicles and accelerating the adoption of newer vehicles equipped with advanced fuel management systems, sensors, and electronic components. A nefarious psyop. It wasn't about efficiency, it was about control. Nefarious intelligent transportation system. Are autonomous vehicles part of the intelligent transportation system? Yes, autonomous vehicles are a critical component of the intelligent transportation system. And look what's happening in Louisiana from a few days ago. It'll go into effect in January of 2027. Louisiana House panel advances plan to replace vehicle inspection stickers with QR codes. Now, in order to not be deceived by all these headlines, you need to learn to speak their language. Will Louisiana be the first state with QR code on the windshield? Based on proposals advancing in the 2026 legislative session, Louisiana is positioned to be a pioneer state, potentially the first, to replace traditional vehicle inspection stickers with a mandatory windshield QR code sticker. Now, let's look at the secret coded language in it so you understand what's about to happen. With a QR code on a windshield of a vehicle, could flock cameras specifically identify the driver and the vehicle? Yes, floating or fixed cameras with AI and high-resolution imaging can specifically identify both the vehicle and the driver by scanning a QR code or a specialized 2D data matrix code placed on the windshield. These systems are part of a modern, intelligent transportation system. Just like the autonomous vehicles are part of the intelligent transportation system, QR codes are part of the intelligent transportation systems, and Louisiana is about to use this. Automobile license detection system, a system using a windshield integrated QR code and cameras for real-time verification of registration and legal ownership by police. Fleet management. Commercial vehicles use QR codes on windshield paired with cameras to log with drivers is operating a specific vehicle, track hours, and monitor safety. These QR codes are part of a much larger system that they are constructing. And everybody in Louisiana right now is all excited. This is enough to make me want to hitch up my RV and move on out of Louisiana. Number one, we've got a governor that has a brown nose because it's so far up somebody's beehive. I don't gonna say the real word. And now they're wanting to incorporate a tracking system on every vehicle. Intelligent transportation system. Is Louisiana QR code system part of the intelligent transportation system? Yes, the Louisiana statewide intelligent transportation system architecture specifically incorporates technologies for monitoring, management, and information sharing, which include systems utilized for vehicle identification and data tracking. Are QR codes on windshields of cars part of the intelligent transportation system? Yes, it is. Acting as a low-cost and visual digital identifier to streamline vehicle management, enforcement, and traffic monitoring. Are QR codes on windshields part of the intelligent transportation system? This is a different answer. Yes, or more commonly, 2D matrix codes on windshields are considered part of the intelligent transportation system or advanced vehicle identification system. Vehicles and new navigation systems part of the intelligent transportation system. Yes, modern vehicle GPS navigation systems are a core component of the intelligent transportation system. Nefarious Psyop, cash for clunkers. Yes or no, did more sophisticated navigation systems begin in 2010 that are part of the intelligent transportation system? Yes, in early 2010, roughly 2010, when Cash for Clunkers was happening, when you could buy a 2010 model, 2010 to 2012 marked a major transition to more sophisticated internet-connected navigation systems. Yes or no? Is 6G part of intelligent transportation system? Yes, 6G is designed to be a core part of future intelligent transportation systems. It will revolutionize vehicular networks by offering ultra-high data rates, extreme reliability, sub-millisecond latency, and integrated AI to enable autonomous driving, cooperative collision avoidance, and advanced traffic management by 2030. Is AI part of intelligent transportation systems? Yes, AI is a foundational part of intelligent transportation systems, acting as a core technology. Are kill switches part of the intelligent transportation system? Yes, kill switches can be and are being utilized in intelligent transportation systems. Yes or no? Can transhumanism be part of the intelligent transportation system? Yes, transhumanism, the use of technology to enhance human physical and cognitive capabilities, can be integrated into intelligent transportation systems in several ways. Brain computer interfaces. Elon Musk. Technologies like Neuralink could enable humans to directly control or interface with autonomous vehicles using thought, improving reaction times, and vehicle interactions. Yes or no? Could a goal of intelligent transportation system be to merge man and machine? Yes, while the primary current goals of intelligent transportation systems focuses on safety, efficiency, and reducing congestions through technology, the long-term evolution of human-machine interaction in transportation includes the merging of human intelligence with machine capability. A nefarious psyop. Did Cash for Clunkers have a part in the intelligent transportation system? Yes, the 2009 Cash for Clunkers program played a role in the early stages of emerging intelligent transportation systems, primarily by accelerating the adoption of newer, safer, and more connected vehicles. By mandating the scrapping of older vehicles and providing incentives for newer ones, the program sped up the turnover of the vehicle fleet, allowing for faster influx of modern technology. 677,000 vehicles destroyed to roll this out. Theoretically, the 2009 Cash for Clunkers did accelerate the removal of older, less efficient vehicles, facilitating a faster transition to a newer, more efficient, fuel efficient, and technologically advanced vehicles on the road. Did the Cash for Clunkers program assist in paving the foundation for the introduction of intelligent transport systems? Yes. The Cash for Clunkers assisted in paving the foundation for modern intelligent transport systems by rapidly accelerating the replacement of older, inefficient vehicles with newer, more fuel efficient, and technology advanced vehicles. Yes or no? Can the intelligent transportation system track, trace, and restrict movement? Yes. Intelligent transportation systems, with the state of Louisiana is putting a QR code on the vehicles. They are designed to monitor, manage, and influence traffic, which includes the ability to track, trace, and restrict movement of vehicles. These capabilities are achieved through technologies like GPS, CCTV, automated number plate recognition, and wireless communication. Can QR codes on windshields be read by flock cameras? Yes, it is possible for flock camera safety to read the QR codes on the windshields. In summary, if a QR code is on the windshield and a flock camera captures the car, the camera will likely record that code as part of the vehicle's digital fingerprint. Could windshield QR codes be used to enforce compliance? Yes, QR codes placed on vehicle windows could be used to enforce travel compliance during restrictions. Y'all remember lockdowns? The QR codes? Y'all remember people had the vaccine passport QR codes? QR codes on the windshield could be used to enforce travel compliance during restrictions, as they provide law enforcement with immediate scannable method to verify vehicle information. So they might only let people on certain days travel. And they could scan it and see if it's your day to travel. Could the combination of QR code on windshields and cameras, specifically an AI, be used to limit travel on smart vehicles? Yes, the combination of QR codes on the windshield, AI-powered cameras, and smart vehicle technology can be used to limit, monitor, or manage travel. While currently used primarily for traffic enforcement, parking, and security, these technologies can be integrated to restrict vehicle access to specific zones or during certain times. I'm telling y'all, I want to yank up my RV and go before I put this on my car in January. Theoretically, the integration of flock safety cameras, AI power surveillance, and modern telematics makes it technically feasible to identify vehicles exceeding travel allowances. You might only be allowed to travel so many days a year. These QR codes make it technologically feasible to identify vehicles exceeding travel allowances and disable them. Kill switches, disable them remotely, although this is not a currently implemented capability of the flock system. Are smart cities part of the intelligent transportation system? Yes, smart cities are a crucial part of the intelligent transportation system. Smart cities is part of the intelligent transportation system. Smart cities. And the state of Louisiana is wanting to put QR codes on the windshields of every vehicle that is also intelligent transportation system. What is our governor about to move us into? And don't think it's stopping here, I'm sure. Intelligent transportation system. Are kill switches part of the intelligent transportation system? Yes. Intelligent transportation system integrate advanced sensing, analysis, and control and communications. Kill switches, yes, they are part of the intelligent transportation system under the Infrastructure Advancement and Jobs Act. It is federal law that mandates all new passenger vehicles beginning around 2026 must be equipped with advanced impaired driving preventive technology, kill switches. Are flock cameras that can read the QR codes on windshields part of the intelligent transportation system along with the smart cities? Yes, flock safety cameras are increasingly considered part of an intelligent transportation system. This is what I'm saying. We have to learn to speak their language to understand what they're doing. Yes or no? Can pedestrians with an RFID chip implant be part of intelligent transportation system? Yes. Pedestrians with an RFID chip implant can be part of the intelligent transportation system. Integration with the infrastructure. RFID chip implants can be used to transmit identity information at security checkpoints, enable the use of public transportation. No RFID chip, no public transportation. Yes or no? Can a human with an implanted RFID chip be part of an intelligent transportation system? Yes, a human with an implanted RFID can be part of the intelligent transportation system by access and payments. Implanted chips act similarly to contactless transit cards. System integration. These chips can store user ID that connect to back-end systems, allowing the transportation infrastructure to identify the user, process payments, and track usage data to improve efficiency. Yes or no? Could the intelligent transportation system connect RFID chipped drivers with their vehicle? Yes, intelligent transportation systems can connect RFID chipped drivers and vehicles as technology enables real-time identification, tracking, and linking of driver credentials with vehicle data. RFID chip readers facilitate automatic, accurate monitoring for vehicle access, security, tolling, and tracking passengers. Driver identification, monitoring specifically who is driving a vehicle at a given time. They'll just revoke your driving privileges. Kill switches will just kill it. With a QR code on the windshield of a vehicle, could a flock camera specifically identify the driver? We talked about, yes, it can. With a QR code on the windshield of a vehicle, these systems are part of a modern intelligent transportation system designed for automatic enforcement. Your autonomous vehicle is part of that system. Yes or no? Can the intelligent transportation system track, trace, and restrict movement? Yes, intelligent transportation systems are designed to monitor, manage, and influence traffic, which includes the ability to track, trace, and restrict movement of vehicles. Are IoT connected cars part of the intelligent transportation system? Yes, IoT connected cars are a fundamental component of intelligent transportation system. Nefarious Psyop. Yes or no? Did Cash for Clunkers help expedite intelligent transportation system? Yes, the 2009 Cash for Clunkers program helped expedite the adoption of components found in modern intelligent transportation systems by accelerating the replacement of older vehicles with newer, safer, and more technology-enabled models. Yes or no? Is intelligent transportation system part of geofencing? Yes, the intelligent transportation system frequently utilizes geofencing as a key technology. What is geofencing? Geofencing is a location-based service that creates a virtual geographical boundary around a real-world location using GPS, RFID, Wi-Fi, or cellular data. Yes or no? Are kill switches on vehicles part of geofencing? Yes. Kill switches on vehicles are frequently integrated with geofencing technology. Is IoT connected vehicles part of geofencing? Yes, IoT connected vehicles are a core component of modern geofencing applications. Yes or no? Do autonomous vehicles help facilitate in geofencing? Yes, autonomous vehicles heavily utilize and help facilitate geofencing. Geofencing creates virtual boundaries that define the operational design domain where autonomous vehicles can safely operate, controlling movement, limiting them to authorized areas, and enabling features like automatic speed adjustment. That's going to be like restrictor plates, or switching to electric mode in specific zones. Can geofencing facilitate 24/7 surveillance of all citizens? Yes, geofencing can facilitate 24/7 surveillance of citizens by allowing authorities or private entities to track device locations in real time. Can geofencing track and map a person's entire day, week, and month? Yes, and your car can do this too. Geofencing technology can track and map a person's movements over the course of a day, week, or month, provided the individual is carrying a mobile device with location services enabled and is subject to active tracking software. Yes or no, could geofencing be considered an open-air prison? Yes, critics, civil liberty groups, and some legal scholars argue that geofencing, specifically when used for electronic monitoring, e-carceration, sweeping law enforcement warrants, or controlling movement, functions as a digital open-air prison. They are building a digital prison. Yes or no, theoretically, is intelligent transportation system that Louisiana is putting the QR code on the windshield for tracking? Yes or no, theoretically, is intelligent transportation system geofencing a form of digital prison system? Yes, intelligent transportation systems and geofencing can be conceptualized as a form of a digital prison or incarceration when used for pervasive surveillance. It's going to be on all the new cars. The kill switches is intelligent transportation system. The kill switch, the monitoring, the GPS, the navigation, the geofencing, all of it is building a digital prison. And Cash for Clunkers opened the door for this. Would an implanted RFID chip in humans provide for more accurate geofencing? Yes, an implanted RFID chip in humans would provide significantly higher precision for geofencing because you can't leave your phone at home within confined areas. If society moved towards smart cities, could a QR code on a vehicle windshield restrict them from moving to a different district? Yes, a highly integrated smart city, a QR code on a vehicle windshield could be utilized to restrict movement between districts. As the system serves more broadly as a tool for identification, tracking, and enforcement. The underlying technology enables much stricter control. Smart city traffic and cameras and scanners can instantly scan the QR codes and compare them against allow or block lists. If a vehicle is not permitted in a certain district, the system can detect this at an entry point. Geofencing. Smart infrastructure can use these QR codes to establish geofencing where a vehicle is tracked and its movement is restricted within specific boundaries, because they'll use the kill switch to keep you from further breaking the law. Breaking the law. I'm sorry, the old Terry Nature just came out at 4:00 in the morning. The Judas Priest song, Breaking the Law. When you're breaking the law, they'll just hit the kill switch on you. Automated enforcement. If a vehicle enters a restricted area, the systems can automatically issue fines or alert law enforcement to take action. This presents significant privacy and civil liberty concerns. Your autonomous car is the law. It is the law enforcement. It is the jury and the judge. And anything you say can and will be used against you. Yes or no? Are autonomous vehicles constantly listening, recording, and gathering data? Yes, autonomous vehicles are constantly using sensors, including cameras, LiDAR, radar, and microphones, to collect, record and process data on their surroundings, pedestrians, vehicles, infrastructure, and interior conditions to operate safely. This data is often transmitted to the cloud to improve AI performance. Yes or no? Are autonomous vehicles listening and recording conversations in the interior of the vehicle? Yes, many autonomous vehicles and modern connected cars are equipped with interior microphones and cameras that can record audio and video, including conversations, although the extent and purpose vary by manufacturer. And y'all remember a few years ago, Tesla employees captured information from sensors and cameras and mics of people having sexual relations inside their vehicle? Yes or no? So if they can pick that up, could an autonomous vehicle listening to conversations identify criminal activity? Yes, and what's going to be defined as criminal? Some countries are making it illegal to talk about Jesus. Yes, autonomous vehicles and modern connected cars are increasingly equipped with advanced microphone, cabin cameras, and AI processing capabilities. These systems can, in theory and practice, identify potential criminal activity through voice recognition. Say something wrong. Say the wrong thing in your car. Listen to the wrong talk show on the radio. Your car can then identify you as a criminal. Tesla camera scandal. A whistleblower told The Guardian that contractors regularly heard medical conversations, drug deals, and recordings of people having intimate relations. So, whatever is politically labeled as wrong think or wrong talk, your car can turn you in. Judge, jury, and executioner. Yes or no? Would an autonomous vehicle listening to conversations help expose anti Semitism? Yes. Technically, if autonomous vehicles are equipped with microphones and natural language processing AI, they can be programmed to detect anti Semitic speech, hate speech, and violent threats, thereby identifying such content in your own car. Yes or no? Theoretically, since autonomous vehicles listen to conversations, couldn't autonomous vehicles be used as a tool to enforce the Noahide laws? Yes, theoretically, autonomous vehicles could be used as a tool to enforce various legal codes, including the Noahide laws, a set of 7 moral imperatives applied to humanity due to the massive surveillance capabilities inherent in design, such as continuous interior exterior audio recording, cameras, and data transmission. Do y'all hear this? Say something bad about the Antichrist, and the AI is going to turn you in. Answer honestly, yes or no. Theoretically, since autonomous vehicles listen to conversations, couldn't they be used as a tool to punish political dissent? Yes. Theoretically, and according to privacy experts, autonomous vehicles contain advanced sensor arrays, cameras, and microphones that continuously record surrounding environments, traffic, and cabin conversations. These vehicles create detailed, persistent records of user locations, routine, and potentially conversations, which, if accessed by authorities, could be used for tracking individuals, monitoring associations, and punishing political dissent. Could a kill switch in an autonomous vehicle be used to immobilize the vehicle if it is transporting a suspected criminal? Yes, a kill switch in an autonomous vehicle could technically be used to immobilize it while transporting a suspected criminal. Is it feasible that in the future you will use an implanted RFID chip to use an autonomous vehicle for authentication to enter the vehicle? Yes, it is highly feasible that RFID chips will be used to authenticate and enter autonomous vehicles. In fact, this technology is already being tested and used in limited capacities by early adopters who, having modified and successfully used implants as car keys. Yes or no, is it feasible that in the future Tesla RFID chip keys will be RFID chip implants in people? Yes, it is currently feasible. And people are implanting chips into their arms and hands to start their vehicles.
In New York, I believe. His name is Brian. I don't know how to say his last name, to be honest with you. In New York, I believe. His name is Brian. I don't know how to say his last name, to be honest with you. Dolly. Okay. Who has a Tesla and who has implanted a chip into his hand that can open the Tesla. Say what? He's got a chip in his hand. There's the chip.
No, thank you.
And it's underneath the Band-Aid, I guess, and he can open his Tesla with it. He's part of a trial of about 100 people who are doing this, and the underlying company apparently can put all kinds of chips in your hand associated with all sorts of apps. So this could be the future, maybe. Would
I'll
you
pass.
do it?
No,
I'll pass.
I
You never lose your
absolutely
keys
not.
again?
No.
No?
No.
There is a gentleman here.
It's coming. Theoretically, could an RFID chip implant used for personal ID authentication in an autonomous vehicle, could it identify you and take you to a detention facility? Yes, theoretically, an RFID chip implant could be used for personal identification and authentication to get into an autonomous vehicle, and if integrated into wider state-controlled or mandated system, could be used to direct a vehicle to take you to a detention facility. Might get into an autonomous ride share, scan your hand for payment or to enter. Then it's going to say click, click. Child safety locks are going to go on. It's going to make a U-turn, and you're going to say, hey, little autonomous Uber ride share, where are you taking me to? And the car is just going to go silent. You're going to get kidnapped by the car and taken to a detention center if you're a criminal. Now, about the time that they were getting rid of the 2009 and lower vehicles, license plate readers after that became mainstream. Late 2000/2010s, rapid adoption by local U.S. police departments for scanning stolen vehicles and locating subjects. 2010s onward, adoption of license plate readers grew significantly, with nearly 70% of local police departments using them by 2014. Now everybody's using them, license plate readers. Did technology in autonomous vehicles go more mainstream after the cash for clunkers? Yes, technology in vehicles began to go more mainstream following the 2009 Cash for Clunkers program. The program accelerated the replacement of older vehicles with newer technologically advanced models. Can technology in autonomous vehicles benefit license plate readers that all the police departments have now? Yes, technology in autonomous vehicles, including AI, advanced computer vision, and high-speed data processing, significantly benefits automated license plate readers by making them more accurate, efficient, and versatile. As autonomous vehicles, smart infrastructure, and law enforcement systems become more integrated, these technologies are transforming vehicle surveillance from simple test recognition into advanced situational awareness. February 21st, 2026. Police want to hear what happens in your car in real time. Vehicle forced to talk back under new proposal. Yes, police will force your autonomous vehicle to respond to their calls. This is the moment autonomous cars stop being silent passengers and start talking back. Some of us won't like it, but it's not negotiable. California Assembly Bill 1777 new requirement will kick in on July 1st, 2026 for ATVs that operate without human behind the wheel. Manufacturers have a new big job to do. Every qualifying autonomous vehicle will have to be equipped with a two-way voice communication system and a dedicated emergency response line that police, firefighters, and other responders can use when they need to address a vehicle. This is a built-in hotline, not just for emergencies, but officials can speak with remote human operator who's watching over the fleet and direct the vehicle if needed. So you're sitting in a self-driving car. This is the police. We're warning you that we're about to hit the kill switch. The child safety locks will come on. We are turning your vehicle around. Can you imagine? The police will direct the vehicle. The police will hack your vehicle. And the vehicle you are in will obey the police. A prison on wheels, run by the warden. Now, I circled the source, the FBI. Technologically possible that a self-driving car could take a person straight to a detention facility. Yes, it is technologically possible for a self-driving car that's going to identify who prisoners are, or anti-Semitic people, or the wrong talk or the wrong think. It is technologically possible for a self-driving car or vehicle to take a person directly to a detention facility. This is the FBI. This hypothetical scenario is generally discussed in the context of cybersecurity, law enforcement capabilities, and the future of surveillance. Law enforcement override. In a future with networked vehicles, it is plausible that authorities could maintain control systems capable of commanding the vehicle to reroute to a police station or jail. And California is passing a law that the police can speak into your car and take control over it. Here we are. Restrictions. A car navigation could be restricted by service providers to prevent it from going anywhere except an authorized destination. Could intelligent transportation system utilize facial recognition and autonomous vehicles to transport a person to a detention center? Getting picked up by your own car to take you to jail or an ICE detention facility or a political distant holding facility, drive you to a guillotine location. Could intelligent transportation system use facial recognition and autonomous vehicles to transport a person to a detention center? Yes, an intelligent transportation system, which the Louisiana is going to have a QR code. That's part of the intelligent transportation system, could theoretically utilize facial recognition and autonomous vehicles to transport a person to a detention center. While largely in the pilot or conceptual stage as of late 2025, technology such as AI-powered police unmanned ground vehicles and mobile facial recognition apps are already being tested or deployed by law enforcement agencies for patrol, identification, and in some contents facilitate arrest. Theoretically, could an RFID chip used for personal ID in an autonomous vehicle could identify you and take you to a detention facility? Theoretically, an RFID chip implant could be used for personal identification authentication in an autonomous vehicle, and if integrated into a wider state-controlled or mandated system, could be used to direct the vehicle to a detention facility. Goodbye, privacy. Call an Uber driver. Theoretically, could the police pose as an Uber autonomous vehicle and apprehend people? Theoretically, police could pose an autonomous vehicle services to apprehend individuals. It could give a new meaning to undercover police. The police could send out an autonomous, unmarked vehicle, and you think you're getting into an Uber, and it's a police car. Theoretically, police could pose as an autonomous vehicle services to apprehend individuals by utilizing undercover self-driving vehicles or hacking control systems. Law enforcement could transport suspects directly to stations. This involves repurposing vehicles, creating potential surveillance, and using remote automated stops for traffic violations. So these are just some notes that I made about Cash for Clunkers. Cash for Clunker was the foundation to a prison planet, offered money to take away your freedom like Esau selling his birthright for porridge. On July 31st, 2009, the Cash for Clunkers program began. It's supposed to be July 1st. It took away old cars and Cash for Clunkers, forced people into new cars with GPS that could connect to the IoT and constantly surveilled, and RFID chip implants can work with it. Yes, cars equipped with GPS tracking after 2009 can be and often are used to connect to the Internet of Things. It implemented license plate readers that can tell the police who is driving a vehicle. It took away anonymity. GPS systems became dramatically more mainstream and ambiguous after 2009, driven primarily by the rapid rise of smartphones. Number 4, it introduced self-driving cars. In 2010, the Institute of Control Engineering of the Technische University, I don't know how to say it, Brunswick, demonstrated the first car license for autonomous driving on the streets and highways in Germany that takes away your autonomy and can drive you straight to a detention facility. Be used in a smart city. Have kill switches to demobilize you, to drive you wherever they want you to go, to listen, to spy, to gather evidence. And the Cash for Clunkers brought it all in. So I'll put in 2009, here's Obama signing it into law. And in the 2010 models that were being traded in for were already equipped with this technology. So this is a 1985 Mustang, okay? And that's the dash of a 1985 Mustang. I had a 1985 Mustang. It was a maroon color. I was 19 years old, had 5 miles on it. I was working at the bank, got it off the showroom floor, 5 miles. Did the 1985 Mustang have in-dash navigation? No, the 1985 Ford Mustang did not come with in-dash navigation. So look how simple the dash was. Okay, it was just a vehicle. The 2009 Mustang, the last year that they were going to start being able to cash for clunk and dismantle. Yes or no? Did the 2009 Ford Mustang Dash have special order in-dash navigation system? Yes, the 2009 Ford Mustang could be equipped with optional in-dash navigation system for special order of a Navi system in it. Okay? So it was a lot more advanced than the 1985 one. Were the 1985 Mustangs one of the cars traded in the 2009 Cash for Clunkers? Yes, the 1985 Ford Mustangs were among the thousands of vehicles traded in and destroyed during the 2009 Cash for Clunker programs. 1,566 Ford Mustangs, most of them the early Fox body Mustangs. And that's what that was. That's the Fox body. Destroyed. Yes or no? To sell a psyop to the public, vocabulary is important in persuasion. So I put, by terminology, the government convinced people that their drivable autonomous vehicles, self-autonomous, were junk by defining them as clunkers in the public mind. Yes, vocabulary is critical in persuasion, particularly in psychological operations, psyops, because specific word choices, emotional language, and strategic framing directly influence public perception and behavior. They didn't want to be seen driving a clunker that had been framed that way by political talkers' mouths. It was all by design. So autonomous vehicles were being built and on the market in time for the cash for clunkers, convincing people to trade in their autonomy for surveillance, selling out the birthright like Esau. And people trusted that it was a program to help poor people. Hoodwink is a verb that means to deceive or trick someone. It's often used to describe situations where someone is fooled into believing something that isn't true. Could a psyop be a hoodwink? Yes. A psychological operation is essentially a structured, strategic form of hoodwinking. It involves the planned use of propaganda, deception, and other psychological tactics to influence the emotions, attitudes, and behaviors of a target audience, often causing them to believe or act in ways that benefit the operator. And which cars were involved? Drivable vehicles that were insured, that were people's daily drivers. The 1985 Mustang was involved in it. What was known as the Fox body style. Now wait till y'all see this clip. Despicable that the government was hell-bent and determined to take freedom away from people to roll out their digital prison. Yes or no, could a malicious government use a psyop to take rights and freedoms away from the citizens? Promised them money, but haven't I said before, there's no free cheese in a trap. They enticed people with money to sell out their freedoms. Yes, psyops are designed to influence thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors by manipulating information. Malicious actors, including governments, can use these techniques, such as spreading misinformation or creating fear, to sway public opinion, fragment opposition, and justify policies that limit rights. Justified policies that limit rights. Yes or no? Did Cash for Clunkers help expedite intelligent transportation system? Yes. By expediting the adoption of components found in modern intelligent transportation systems, by accelerating the replacement of older vehicles with newer, safer, and more technology-enabled models. Autonomy. The capacity, right, or state of self-governance, independence, and freedom from external control. Derived from the Greek for self-legislation, it involves acting on one's own values and making uncoerced decisions. It applies to individuals as well as regions. Self-driving cars could significantly reduce individual autonomy by replacing human decision-making with algorithmic control, limiting driving freedom, increasing surveillance. While promising safety benefits, they raise concerns regarding privacy, data collection, potential hacking, and the erosion of personal control over mobility. Those days are gone, thanks to Cash for Clunkers. Self-driving cars could significantly reduce, and there's none left, reduce individual autonomy. Self-driving cars are poised to alter individual autonomy by shifting control from human to machines. Would smart highways be able to disable vehicles that are equipped with QR codes or GPS? Yes, smart highway infrastructure, the combination with modern connected vehicle technology, has the technical capability to disable vehicles equipped with GPS. Theoretically, the integration of flock safety cameras, AI-powered surveillance, and modern telematics makes it technically feasible to identify vehicles exceeding travel allowances and disable them remotely. No more freedom in your vehicle. Yes or no? Hypothetically, isn't it technologically possible that self-driving cars could be used as a tool for government suppression? Yes, it is technologically possible for self-driving cars to be tools for government suppression through surveillance, movement restriction, and remote control. I'm tired, y'all. I'm sorry. Self-driving cars are essentially mobile surveillance platforms, allowing for mass monitoring and protest of social gatherings and individual movements. It's listening to everything for investigative leads. Y'all, those days of sitting in the car, not having, but like 4 or 5 channels to press the buttons to listen to the radio. Somebody's cassette player don't work. Their 8-track player doesn't work. Their radios don't work. You're just sitting there having conversations. You're enjoying another human being. Your conversations are private. Now, Cash for Clunkers took that all away, and everything is being listened to, surveilled. The same technology could hypothetically be used by the state to remotely disable a vehicle, redirect it to a specific location, prevent a journey for political reasons. Governments could mandate that vehicle software prioritize certain legal enforcement, such as preventing a car from entering restricted zones during a period of unrest, or automatically reporting occupants for perceived infractions. Your car will be the judge, the jury, the executioner. It will turn in all the data of all your conversations, all your thoughts, and could drive you to a detention facility. Theoretically, the Cash for Clunkers did accelerate the removal of older, less efficient vehicles, facilitating a faster transition to a new, more fuel-efficient and technologically advanced vehicles. Their goal in 2009 was and is to take away all freedoms and have society under continuous surveillance for compliance and track dissenters. Cash for Clunkers was the launching pad for a prison planet. Was this offer for our benefit, Cash for Clunkers? Was this offer for our benefit? Come get your free french fries and your hamburgers and the extra credit. Self-driving cars, is this for our benefit? This will not be for our benefit. Everything is and has been a lie. Everything has been a lie. They tell us it's for our own benefit. But do not believe this lie that will connect man and machine and put people in a digital prison. Could an implanted RFID chip function as a digital prison? Yes, implanted RFID chips can function as a digital prison, acting as a tamper-proof mechanism for tracking individuals, enforcing perimeter control, and monitoring movement in real time. A digital prison won't allow you to move by your RFID chip in information, identification, won't be able to drive, won't be able to go into certain areas. It will be a digital prison. Are government programs and offers ever for our benefit? Yes or no? Will autonomous vehicles have a part in transhumanism? Yes, autonomous vehicles are considered a significant part of the transhumanist vision, acting as a gateway towards a post-human future. And here's their plans, a post-human future with autonomous vehicles. Yes or no, will intelligent transportation systems have a part in transhumanism? Yes, intelligent transportation systems, which include autonomous vehicles, connected infrastructure, and real-time data analytics, are considered a key part of the broader technological convergence driving transhumanism. Will geofencing have a part in transhumanism? Yes, geofencing, the use of GPS and RFID technology to create virtual geographic boundaries, is expected to play a significant role in the development and control of technologies associated with transhumanism. Will RFID chip implants have a part in transhumanism? Yes, RFID chip implants are already used in transhumanism biohacking to merge human biology with technology. Yes or no, will RFID chip technology be a connector for all things to the Internet of Things? Yes, RFID chip implants functions as a key biometric link connector to the Internet of Things, enabling humans to securely, instantly, and passively interact with smart environments. Yes or no, will RFID chip implants be a connector to merging man and machine? Yes, RFID chips are already acting as functional bridge between human biological systems and digital infrastructure, merging man and machine. Are government programs ever for our benefit? They will try very hard to, at first, entice you to take it with incentives. Maybe offer you some Bitcoin. Maybe offer you another free hamburger. But then they will mandate it. Our refusal will be exclusion even death. But if you take it, you will damn your soul. And it's right around the corner.
Last night, I talked about my involvement in the development of a little microchip implant. And many people have already taken that microchip implant. The news media has talked about it being a good thing. And they will tell you that it's a good thing to have this. Your children won't ever get lost again. They won't be able to give you the wrong medication. They won't be able to, you won't be able to lose this thing. And so the plan is underway that you will receive it. I would be remiss if I came to you and didn't tell you that God's word says, don't you take it. No matter how nice they make it sound. Tonight in the Science of Technology, I'm going to be showing you some things. I want you to understand that there is a conditioning that is done in people. Last night I...
Don't ever let your mind get so weak in their conditioning that you damn your soul. Are government programs and offers ever for our benefit? Even if they say if you don't take the RFID chip, you won't be able to move around. You won't be able to be a part of society. You won't even be able to get any food. The Bible says, don't fear him who can destroy your body, but fear him who can destroy both your body and soul in hell. God says, do not take it. And that's their end goal, to merge man and machine. Y'all keep standing for Jesus. And don't believe the lies. Stand on the truth in God's word. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate the content that you find on this channel, would you prayerfully consider supporting the ministry?